He turns 30 today, and Adrian van Beveren is just 4 seconds off the lead in the bikes.
I did a wheelie for my birthday. That's what cost me the 4 seconds.
And Carlos Sainz gives Audi their first Dakar stage win since 1985.
Day 5 of the Dakar, and the adventure continues. Out of the 409 vehicles that started in Jeddah, 23 have been forced to retire. And on the menu today, the longest stage of the rally.
It's time for the longest stage of Dakar 2022, over 700 kilometres to cover, with 465 of them against the clock. Navigation is going to be tricky, especially in the early part of the stage, and the bikers will have to be very focused with lots of changes in direction on the menu. Well, the bikers will no doubt be happy to be heading towards the south and the capital Riyadh, because it was another cold start this morning and it was set to be a fast day in the saddle as well. Ricky Brabeck here preparing to get underway. He would end up spending quite a bit of time on this stage with his training partner back home, Andrew Short, finishing just inside the top 10. Well, you had to have an eagle eye for navigation in the early part of this stage, with some tricky notes in the road book. Didn't take long for the first riders to bunch up. Joaquim Rodriguez leading out after his fine stage victory yesterday, but getting a bit turned around, and he was soon joined by Toby Price, Mason Klein and Skylar Howes. They all took turns to open, and as expected, all of them lost a bit of time, but J-Rod was still all smiles by the time he got back to the bivouac.
It's always a good feeling, like you were the first guy to go, you know, like it means like you were like a top guy, you know. The guys catching me, then we get the group, and then we go, like we just had fun, like all 4 or 5 guys together. We got to have some fun till the finish line, so it was really good stage.
Toby Price leading the pack here. The KTM rider ended up coming in 26.5 minutes down on the day's winner, and even if his pace was decent, a couple of navigation mistakes cost the Aussie, who finds himself now nearly 45 minutes off the pace. Well, Daniel Sanders really put the hammer down. He caught the main group and spent a while opening with Howes, who described him as an absolute mad dog in the dunes. Sanders stays 4th overall, but he had a very lucky escape at one point.
had a little mishap after getting lost. Me and Skylar found the right way and pushed a lot, and then I landed on a hump, and then yeah, that's why my face looks like this. I face planted the front of the bike. I nearly had a really big crash, and yeah, lucky I saved it.
Adrian van Beveren began the day just 4 seconds off the overall lead, but he said it was hard to find the balance between speed and navigation. He was caught by Matthias Walkner, and they did a good job riding together, eventually reeling in Kevin Benavides as well. Van Beveren lost a few minutes, but he's still within touching distance of the overall lead. Walkner enjoyed his day. He actually said the stage didn't feel that long because he was constantly pushing, first on his own, then with Van Beveren, then with Van Beveren and Benavides. Well, the Austrian showed what a talented all-rounder he is as he roared to victory in the 2021 World Championship, and it's perhaps no surprise to see that he is now second overall. Sam Sunderland also did a really nice job today. He was 17th at the start, so he had plenty of lines to follow in the sound through the stage. The change from the KTM factory team to Gas doesn't seem to have done the 2017 winner any harm at all. He was 6th on the day and extends his overall lead. Well, this was the best day of the Dakar so far for Luciano Benavides. He was one of the many riders who lost a significant amount of time on stage 1B with all those navigational problems. But the Argentine reckons that he's recovered a bit of his confidence. He trusted in his own navigation skills today, and that paid off as he finished in 5th place. Last year, Danilo Petrucci was riding for KTM in MotoGP. Now he's riding for KTM in his very first Dakar. It looked like his rally was over on day 2 after mechanical trouble, but he was able to continue and keep gaining valuable experience. Well, the Italian is certainly a fast learner. He was 3rd fastest today before a speeding penalty, which dropped him down to 15th. Petrucci spending quite a bit of the day riding with Lorenzo Santolino, who enjoyed their little battle here in the dunes. Now the Spaniard has quietly made a brilliant start to this Dakar. 6th last year, and he's been keeping out of trouble. Finds himself now 5th in the overall standings, 10 minutes and 28 seconds off the pace. It was a really good day for the French brand Sherco. With Petrucci's penalty, they had 2 riders in the top 4. Portugal's Rui Gonçalves flying high in 3rd place.
Yeah, my team has been doing an amazing job. You know, they've been working so hard to give me the best, and yeah, things start to go a better way. So I will focus for tomorrow and the next days to try to going that way until the finish.
Gonçalves spent quite a bit of the day riding with Pablo Quintanilla, who powered to 2nd place. The Chilean has been swinging up and down the standings in recent days, but he was very happy with how he got through this complex stage. The Honda factory man is now 6th overall, just ahead of the day's stage winner. And that was his teammate Joan Barreda. Bang Bang made a small mistake. He has a sore arm and he was given a 1-minute penalty for speeding, but all of that didn't stop him claiming his 29th career stage victory on the Dakar, the 2nd of this edition. In the end, the goal was to gain some time on the guys in front, and I think it was a pretty good stage. I'm happy with what we have achieved so far in terms of our overall performance. I made a small mistake today, but I'm pretty satisfied. Well, considering how long a stage this was, the gaps weren't huge. Fine efforts elsewhere from the privateers at Stefan Zvitko and Martin Mitchek to sneak inside the top 10. Sunderland leads by exactly 3 minutes from his old teammate Walkner, followed by Van Beveren, Sanders and Santolino.
The Dakar isn't just a race of speed. Good navigation is the key to success. And to do so, a biker has to know how to use his roadbook and navigation tools perfectly.
That's my road book. That's all we have to guide us during the day. We have all the information here. In theory, it's quite clear, it's quite simple.
C'est assez
But
simple.
once you're riding with the speed and in the race, it's not that easy.
La course, etc. C'est pas toujours facile, quoi. Voilà le tableau
This
de
is
bord
our
pour,
dashboard
pour
to
naviguer.
navigate.
On a ce petit
We have this
pour
little
dérouler
joystick
le
to unwind the road book. We unwind it manually.
Le roadbook.
Here is the
Ici, ça,
speedometer,
c'est le compteur de vitesse.
because
Parfois, on a
sometimes
une
we're
limite
limited
de
in speed.
vitesse.
Then
Et
odometer
compteur
and
kilométrique,
compass.
Boussole. Donc ça,
These
c'est
three
vraiment
elements
ces
are
trois
essential
éléments
to
qui
get
sont,
to the finish.
primordiaux pour aller à l'arrivée.
3 elements to keep your eye on. Not an easy task when you're sometimes riding at over 100 kilometers an hour.
Alors comment ça marche?
So how does it work? Here you have the kilometer in the first box, 253.6. You have to go along the dunes following the heading called cap 120 that you see here on the compass. And the kilometers are here and are automatic. It means that from box 253 to box 255 there are 1.7 kilometers. And that point is blue because it's a hidden waypoint. When you arrive in a radius of 800 meters around this waypoint, the arrow of the compass lights up. The arrow to get to the center of the point. Once you've validated the center of the point, you carry on. Here it goes from a line to a dotted line, and that means off-piste. Here, sandy off-piste. Leave the track following cap 170. Waypoints are there to help us more than trap us. Sometimes we struggle to find them, but if we didn't have waypoints, we wouldn't know in what direction to go. In the middle you have the GPS that registers if we've gone through all the waypoints.
Si on a pris tous les waypoints. Donc désolé pour tes
Sorry for the
oreilles.
ears.
The brain of a biker has to split in two. One side focuses on speed and dangers, the other following the good path.
There's a lot of information and everything is linked. And when there's a bug, you go crazy. You don't understand. You can have the track under your eyes and lose 20 minutes or an hour or more. It's our friend, but you sometimes want to burn it and enter a magic code that takes you to the right place.
De faire un code magique parfois pour qu'il nous emmène au bon endroit.
But it's fascinating. It's a game. Navigation really is a game.
In the quads, Pablo Capetti won stage 3 and leads overall, but he didn't start this special well. Manuel Andújar passed him early on with Alexander Maximov and Alexandre Giroud. Less than a third of the way through the stage though, the Argentinian was himself overtaken by the Russian debutant who in 2021 won the Silkway Rally and pushed Andújar all the way in Morocco. A first special victory for Maximov, who also shaved 5 minutes off his deficit in the general classification.
Так получилось, что я догнал своих конкурентов, которые шли впереди.
What happened is that once I'd caught up with the leaders, I knew I could keep going full gas, and that's what I did, all the way to the line.
Ехать и сохранять технику. Так получилось.
Andújar and Giroud are becoming pictures of quad consistency. They've both now finished on the podium for the past 3 days. So it was a great day for the rookie Maximov, with Andújar and Giroud desperately trying to make up for lost time early in the rally. No change in the general classification. Copetti, Giroud and today's winner.